Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 14 is here, and I have a DraftKings Showdown video to do for you for this Thursday night football game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Rams. However, it's not really the Los Angeles Rams. It's the corpse of the Los Angeles Rams. It's the zombie version. It's just kind of walking around, stumbling, and trying to eat the Raiders' brains at this. Like, it's not even, I didn't even put them on the thumbnail. Usually I have one player from each team, but like, who knows what to do with the Rams? We're going to discuss it all. I know that sometimes I say that like it's an ugly showdown and like I kind of play it up for fun's sake. It's not that this is an ugly showdown. The total here is 44.5. The Raiders are favored by 6. They're expecting like 19.5 points out of the Rams. Problem is figuring out who's going to do it. So let's give it a try. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smiz Gang Listener League is posted for week 14. If you wanted to jump in there, you got to go through smizzle.tv/links. That'll have the link to the Listener League. Everywhere else that I put out content, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, everywhere else, you can click all those things as well. It is a $10 entry fee. It is $3 max to enter, and absolutely no rake. The best tournament that exists. Every single main slate on DraftKings. Go check it out at smizzle.tv/links. Let's go take a look at this showdown. Here's the big tournament this week. Okay. Usually what we do on this show is go through optimal captains, some fringe possibility captains, and then whatever. This is really ugly. There are two guys who get enough volume and have enough fantasy points to be actually in the picture for viable captain. There's two of them. One of them is Davante Adams, who's been way better on the Raiders than I thought he could be on the Raiders. And that was never an indictment of Davante Adams or his talent. It was more concern around Derek Carr, who's never really thrown for a ton of touchdowns. So Adams would have to eat up, for him to have like 15 plus touchdowns, he'd have to eat up like over half of Derek Carr's touchdown passes. Well, you know, he's doing exactly that at this point. There's nobody else to throw to, and nobody can cover Davante Adams. The amount of times that he has had 40 points, 36 points, 30 points, 39 points, 30.4, 33, averaging 24 per game on the season because of this monstrous amount of volume that he's gotten. The absence of Darren Waller and the absence of Hunter Renfrow has kind of pushed his usage over the top, right? There's nobody else to throw to in the red zone. Mac Hollins is running around a lot and getting targeted a lot, like 9 targets in 2 of the last 3 games for Mac Hollins. But ideally speaking, it's just Davante Adams' show in terms of the passing game. On the ground, Josh Jacobs, who's going to be questionable the rest of the year with his calf issue, but he's just going to kind of keep playing through things from what we understand. We'll see. I assume that they're going to play him on Thursday night. If they rest him, we'll deal with that. But he is the other optimal captain, right? We don't want to give up too many points at the captain spot, because if we do, then we just can't score enough. The problem is the Rams aren't going to score enough either. Well, I'll get to that in just a minute. Averaging 23.5 fantasy points on the year. He's a monster, right? Like if you plug him in at the captain spot, he ends up costing you 18. So they're priced appropriately. The other route that you could go is plugging in somebody like Carr to get a little points out of him, and then hope that Adams and Jacobs in that roster gets you enough with an average remaining per player of 3,100. Because if you go the other route and we do this, you want to get all 3 of these Raiders in there, you now have way less. 20. So it doesn't seem like a lot difference, but it is. 8,200 is not a lot of money to be able to spend on the rest of your roster. So it's going to depend on who we can get from the Rams. The closest thing to a viable captain on the Rams is somebody like Cam Akers, who was in the doghouse and he's out of the doghouse, and Coach McVay is doing the hokey pokey with Cam Akers. Right now he's got his Akers in, and before he had his Akers out. And I guess we're hoping that in this game against the Raiders with their spotty defense that he shakes it all about. I don't know how else to figure out who to play at captain for the Rams, and here's why. Let's take a look at the Rams' couple of box scores in the 2 games since Matthew Stafford has been out. 13 completions for Bryce Perkins, 1 for Riley Dixon on 23 attempts. They threw for 100 yards. One person got over 4 targets in that game. McCutcheon got 4, caught none. Skoranek caught 2 on 4. Van Jefferson got 6. And they're not deep downfield targets either. They can't take shots right now with what they have. Looking at the game against the Seahawks, John Wolford was the quarterback. He is a running quarterback as well, completed less than half of his attempts, still mid-20s, 14 attempts. They have to run the ball a ton. They're doing it with Powell and Wolford and Tutu Atwell and Kyron Williams, 33 rush attempts. The only way that they can possibly do things. Nobody got more than 5 targets in this one. Nobody caught more than Brandon Powell, caught 4 of them. So getting back to this slate, if you wanted to fit guys like Mac Hollins at captain is, I guess, viable against the Rams defense, who is sitting basically everybody at this point. Stafford's out, Donald's out, Kupp's injured. They're just moving forward. And they signed Baker Mayfield this afternoon. So congratulations to the Rams for that. They're not doing it. Like, here's the thing. I don't think the Rams are doing it because they think that Baker Mayfield is their future. I don't think that the Rams are doing it to stick it to the 49ers either, although that does make for a very nice narrative. It might be a side play. I think that the Rams are trying to buy themselves a draft pick. It costs them $1.3 million, and if they let him walk and he signs with anybody else over the offseason, they get a compensatory pick, very possibly because they're letting a quarterback walk to go somewhere else. So I kind of feel like they're trying to buy like a 4th round pick with $1.3 million. With, you know what? Good strategy. The question is, can you get enough out of Mac Hollins? Because I do think that you're going to have both Adams and Jacobs on your roster. You can see the difference there. Then if you put him in, you can afford 2 super cheap guys. You need at least 1 Rams player on this team, and there are some that are down there. But the cheapest viable Rams player is probably right in here in the flex at $2,400 with Brandon Powell, who has gotten at least 2 targets in each of the last 3 games. Saw some rush attempts last game, 7 opportunities for him. So you got to leave some meat on the bone and try and find a cheap Raider. It's really ugly. I don't know how else to explain this. So like, if you want to go, like, this is one of those games where I think you have to get a little bit creative just based on the way that the Rams are running offense currently. So for those of you who have been dying to play a captain's defense, like, here's your opportunity. You can go get in a cheap defense and plug in all 3 of these dudes and still have more than enough to get like somebody like Powell, and then 4,400 down here, right? For one of these type of guys like Tutu Atwell. You can play the kicker from the Raiders or the Rams. It's an ugly, this is like, just because of the way that the Rams are running offense, this is easily the ugliest slate on a showdown of the year. All of the other showdowns, we had viable players, quarterbacks who were throwing the ball, players who could catch the ball, even if they were low totaled games, like the game that had like the Steelers in Indy or something like that. It was a really ugly game, but at least we knew where the ball was going. Right now, there's no volume on the Rams outside of Akers, and even his volume is somewhat questionable as it yo-yos from one week to the next. Make sure that you join the Discord, smizzle.tv/Discord. Let's make sure that you get over there. I would love for you to take advantage. If you are a channel member here on the Al Smizzle main channel, for $5 a month, you get access to all the VIP channels in the Discord, which is where our entire community hangs out. A partner Discord. We've curated the community over the last 5-6 years. It's been tremendous and the best value add for your channel membership, where you mingle with and mix with all of the Twitch subs. There is no difference between subscribing on Twitch or becoming a channel member on YouTube. In our Discord, both are treated equally. They just have different colors on their names. YouTube subs are red, Twitch subs are blue. Let's go over to Underdog Fantasy, where we're going to do a pick'em on this slate, because why not? I might even do lowers on the Rams. It's that bad. I'm going to give me over 96.5 receiving yards for Devontae Adams. And God, look how low these are. It's like, okay, I'll go higher than 44. Like, that's it. That's all I'm doing. If you are new to Underdog Fantasy, you can get up to $100 first time deposit bonus by using promo code ALSMIZZLE. That's ALSMIZZLE, all one word. For your first deposit to the site, you can get up to $100 bonus that you can use on pick'ems or best balls or anything that they have on the site. So go to Underdog Fantasy today and check out everything that they have over there. Let's head over to Fantasy Labs and take a look at what we can do. I'm going to allow you to use defense and captain. Well, not allow you. You do whatever you want, right? If you wanted to get a discount over at Fantasy Labs, go to smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. That link's going to be down below in the pinned comment. And it also exists if you click show more on the description. It's not going to be difficult to get different in this one, because the Rams offer you so many different guys that are getting touches that if any of them like scampers in for a touchdown, like I said, there is that possibility because they do have a team total of 19.5. We'll add this group to get a little bit different. We'll make sure that it's 25 or below. The 5 correlations that I basically build, and I'll build more than this, and player correlations and groups as well on top of that as I get through and try to massage and manicure the lineups that I want to use. If you have a captain quarterback, make sure that you're using at least 2 of their pass catchers or their kicker. Pair your captain quarterback with at least 1 quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, the skill position players from the opponent. Captain wide receiver, use their quarterback in that lineup. Captain tight end, use their quarterback in that lineup. And limit to at most 1 defensive kicker from the same game. I'll allow you, I'm going to allow it to expand to 2 in this one, and then we will click generate on the Fantasy Labs lineup builder, and it's going to try and build us the best lineups that it possibly can. But realize that you're not just going to go over there and click generate one time and run a vanilla set of projections, a vanilla set of lineups to give you just the ability to print money. You're going to notice that most of the optimal lineups are like 4 or 5 Raiders and 1 Ram. That's what I mean by it's ugly. The Rams offense is so spread out. Nobody really has a good ceiling a ceiling projection for them or a median projection. Head over to Fantasy Labs and check out their great tools and enjoy yourselves on this Thursday night football game, because there are better games waiting for you when the weekend gets here. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.